What is justice? This question launched one of the most influential books in Western philosophy, Plato's Republic. Written over 2,000 years ago, it's not just about politics. It's about how to live, how to think, how to organize your soul and your society. And the answers Plato gives are still unsettling today. The Republic is written as a dialogue. Socrates, Plato's teacher, engages in his famous method, the elenchus. He doesn't lecture. He asks questions. Questions that expose what you don't know, that force you to define your terms, that make you rebuild your understanding from the ground up. And through this questioning, a simple, ethical question about individual justice expands into a vision of an entire city. Because for Plato, the individual is a microcosm of society. To understand justice in the soul, you need to understand justice in the state. So what is justice? Plato's answer is multi-layered. In the individual, justice is harmony. Your soul has three parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. Reason thinks and judges. Spirit drives courage and honor. Appetite seeks pleasure and survival. Justice happens when each part does its own job. Reason guides. Spirit supports. Appetite is moderated. When these three work together, you have a well-ordered soul. The same structure applies to the city. Plato divides society into three classes: guardians, who rule with wisdom, auxiliaries who defend with courage, and producers who provide material needs. Justice in the city means each class performs its proper function. No one tries to do someone else's job. There's order, harmony, balance. But here's where it gets controversial. Plato argues that only philosophers should rule. Why? Because only philosophers have seen the truth. Only they've ascended from shadows to reality. This is the famous theory of forms. Plato uses three metaphors to explain it: the sun, the divided line, and the cave. Remember the cave allegory? Prisoners see only shadows on a wall. One escapes, climbs out, and sees the real world lit by the sun. The sun represents the form of the good, the highest truth that illuminates all other truths. Most of us live among shadows. Images, opinions, secondhand information. But philosophers practice the ascent. They move from imagination to belief to mathematical, reasoning to dialectical understanding. This ascent is painful. It requires discipline, education in mathematics, philosophy, physical training, and self-control. The guardians must suppress personal desire and orient toward the common good. Knowledge without power is impotent. Power without knowledge is dangerous. So the Philosopher-King solves this dilemma. Let those who know the truth also hold the power. But can this work in reality? Plato himself struggled with this. His attempts to advise rulers in Syracuse failed miserably. And history shows how easily idealism turns tyrannical. Still, the questions Plato raises remain urgent. Do you understand justice as following rules, achieving fair outcomes, or cultivating excellent character? Each perspective reveals different blind spots. Look at your own life. Are reason, spirit, and appetite balanced? Or is one dominating? Maybe your appetite drives you into endless consumption. Maybe your spirit pushes you into exhausting competition. Maybe your reason rationalizes everything and kills spontaneity. In your workplace or family, does expertise match authority? Do the people with knowledge have the power to decide? When they don't, what problems arise? And here's a harder question. When did you last sacrifice your private interest for the common good? Plato also challenges how we know. What are you trusting right now that's actually just a shadow, a media narrative, a surface-level opinion, an image mistaken for reality? Could you carve out 60 minutes a week to turn your head, like the prisoner in the cave, to read deeply, think carefully, observe directly, instead of scrolling through shadows? Finally, think about a recent decision. What did reason want? What did spirit demand? What did appetite crave? Were they in harmony? Or was there conflict? What would it take to bring them into balance? Plato believed that philosophy isn't abstract theory. It's training for how to live. Justice isn't just a social arrangement. It's a condition of the soul. And the examined life, the life that questions its own foundations, is the only one worth living. So here's your challenge. Pick one practice for the next month. Something that helps you ascend the divided line. 30 minutes of focused reading. A daily walk for contemplation. Working through a math problem to sharpen thinking. Not because productivity demands it, but because the good life demands it. And in your community, whether it's your family, your team, your circle of friends, what's one small change you could make today to honor each person's unique function and create more harmony? Plato's Republic is demanding. It asks you to examine justice, knowledge, and your own soul with unflinching honesty. But that examination, that turning of the head, that ascent from shadow to light, that's where philosophy begins. And that's where the good life begins too.